The last time I was up here with a microphone was in June of 2014. I was the last speaker that evening, and I do remember saying that if you're not the lead dog on a dog sled team, the view never changes. Well, the view from here is still magnificent, and it's an honor for me to be amongst you all. Perry Pearn is a man I have worked with and admired for years. I credit him with putting the NAIT, ACAC, and the CCAA on the hockey map. His dedication to coaching is second to no one. He is the role model that every parent wants for their son or daughter, and every athlete would want to be coached by. Discipline and dedication in sport and life is what I think Perry's been the ingredients that have had his successes in hockey. Early in Perry's career at NAIT, he took the team to an invitational Christmas hockey tournament in Arizona. I'm not sure how the team did in the tournament. What did come back to our athletic department was that some damage had been done to the hotel rooms. Upon Perry's investigation, he found the players responsible. Fortunately or unfortunately, these were some of his best players. These players knew they were the stars, and they felt confident that they could not be cut from the team. However, they were wrong. Perry did cut those players and went to our intramural program to fill the void. Obviously, his win-loss record that year was dismal, but word got out that if you come to NAIT, you were there for an education and play hockey for a coach that had your best interests. His college, international, and NHL successes you can read about in the bio. I am not sure how hockey managers and executives' minds work, because it totally baffles me why Perry never got the opportunity to become an NHL head coach. He reached the top level of success of every team he has coached, be it college, World Juniors, or NHL assistant. I think he could be, or even more successful than the current coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs, who incidentally is also an ACAC trained coach. Perry, you are most deserving of receiving the honor with the ACAC. Congratulations.
Thanks very much, Erwin. Appreciate that. I think Mike's done a couple of things in Toronto that are warranting him being there, but I appreciate the thought. With heartfelt gratitude, I thank the CCAA for honoring me tonight. I'm very thankful for the opportunities that both the CCAA and the ACAC offered me, and clearly it was an opportunity that allowed me to move into some things in my life that now looking back, I have a great deal of appreciation for. My daughters did want me to also thank the CCAA for the picture that they chose to put up. They believe that it's a guarantee I will never have another mustache. I want to recognize and thank the ACAC for being a leader in college athletics, for the creation of the strong and vibrant conference that the ACAC is. I was very fortunate to be in the ACAC when I was. I was coaching against people like Joe Vodicek, Al Furchuk, Mike Johnston, Mike Babcock, Ray Bennett, Chris Cook, Ken Babby, and many others. And for me, it was like getting a master's degree in coaching. And I will always appreciate everything that came out of my opportunities to go to national championships at the CCAA level and for the opportunity to coach at the ACAC level. I also want to congratulate all the inductees tonight. Al Furchuk is a friend and was a great rival for many of my years in the ACAC. And when you have great rivals, you have to work to get better, and certainly I think Al helped me do that. I want to recognize Al Bohannes and Bob Day. I knew both of them. They were respected by me, and I'd like to think they were my friends in sport. Cor and Phil Allen ran programs that inspired and set the bar at a very high level in the ACAC, and certainly for a coach like myself, you look at what's happening in those other sports and you know what you have to aspire to, so I certainly appreciate that. And the athletes, I have nothing but respect for: Lori, Lana, Brock, Wen. I'm proud to share the honor with you tonight. In many ways, I feel that, you know, some of the great people that I coached at NAIT, they were great people, great athletes. They should probably be, you know, getting this honor ahead of me. I don't think any coach is ever better than the athletes that he has a chance to work with. And I remember thinking that I was always a way better coach when I did a good job of recruiting. You know, I'm proud of my days at NAIT. I have a deep appreciation for the opportunities that NAIT presented to me. While I was there, the doors that it opened for me, and the lifelong friendships that it provided me. I especially want to thank Erwin and Gary Meadus for both taking a chance on me and hiring me. I was a pretty green and unproven coach, and then once they did hire me, I thank them for putting up with me for 14 years, because I was often one of those coaches who thought it was better to beg forgiveness than ask permission. And so a lot of times that got me in the office and talking to Erwin and getting straightened out once in a while. I had the privilege of working with many great people at NAIT, many of whom I consider my very close friends. I do want to acknowledge Greg Meropoulos. Greg's here tonight. Dave Hoy, Jules Olchar. There are many coaching conversations over a coffee at Kingsway Garden Mall helped to shape me as a coach and helped to shape me as a person. I had some outstanding help while I was at NAIT. I had a tremendous group of assistant coaches, some of who were people who played for me and later coached, but people who had a tremendous influence on me, both as a person and my growth as a coach. So I'd like to mention John Phelan, Paul St. Cyr, Rick Carriere, Randy Repchuk, Daryl Bokenfor, Cleo Roween, and I'd like to think that they're sharing this honor with me as well. I'd also like to recognize the fact that, you know, anybody who coaches, their families have to sacrifice a lot. My kids grew up at NAIT. When I left NAIT and wound up in the National Hockey League, my family grew up in Edmonton, and I coached in places like Ottawa and New York, and came home in the summer and went to graduations and things like that. But I wasn't a day-to-day dad the way some people are, and I certainly appreciate what they did to allow me to become who I was. So I certainly want to recognize them tonight. But I think my biggest thanks goes to the athletes that I coached. I had the good fortune to coach some tremendous people at NAIT, and I think anybody who coaches knows how important the athlete is. And no coach is going to win without great athletes. No coach is going to find success without great people. And I was certainly blessed with that. So again, I want to thank CCAA, the ACAC. I'm going to enjoy tonight and really relish this honor for a long time. Thank you very much.